What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of the What's Happening podcast. I'm joined with my co-host Hayden, and let's get this started. It's April 24th, so we wanted to look at like trending topics to see what's going on in the world. Not a lot going on Saturday. Pretty much the only thing I saw was Japan Olympics might get pushed back because they did have a COVID state of emergency. And it's only 3 months away, so I don't know how they're going to be able to lock that down in 3 months. Especially, I don't even know.
It'll be
Do they have vaccines going out?
I'm sure they do. I mean, they're ahead of the game on this kind of stuff usually, as far as, international Olympics, different states and countries, way of handling COVID. I don't know how they're going to get the Olympics in this year. I'm sure they will.
Would they make the athletes get the vaccine? Because it's going to be a lot of trouble testing every single one of those guys every single day.
Well, you figure, there's probably more people. I don't know how many athletes actually go to the Olympics. That's a good question compared to the NFL, because how many people in the NFL and they tested every single one of those?
If you think about it, if you have like a certain team, like just say, because it's the Winter Olympics right now, right? Or is it?
Is that what they're trying to put on? I don't even know. I completely forgot about the Olympics.
Because like say if it was a summer and it's a basketball team, you're gonna have all those players you got to test, all the coaching staff, all the trainers, everyone you're bringing over from your country over to help you win the gold medal. So, I mean, that's a lot of people you're going to have to be testing 24/7. You have to have a big facility to hold all these people in to where they're not having outside contact with anybody. So it's like, do you make them get the vaccine, or is it just, you do what you normally do, just test and just let them see what happens?
I think maybe you just test. I don't know if you remember back in Rio when they had the Olympics, they had was that when Michael Phelps who went out, the swimmer that went out and got
is it Ryan or something, like the dope kind of guy that talks like a California bro?
Yeah, Latifi or something like that. I can't remember.
Lotfi,
yeah,
something
but
like
they
that.
had everybody like, it's crazy. They quarantined. It's not a quarantine, but remember they had like a ship off the shore, I think, of Brazil or something. Like, they don't even let Americans into the city, just to like protect them from obviously BS like that. And I think from like drinking like their water and their food, like they don't want them to get sick. I know from like Jackass from Steve-O would say when he goes to other countries and tries to drink their water, he gets like sick.
That can't be good for you.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that just shows you, the extent they're willing to go with that. So I'm sure they could quarantine or, and test and stuff like that. I mean, it would just be like the NFL probably.
Yeah, true.
You just got the Russians and their steroids. That's all you got to worry about, really.
I hope it goes off without a hitch. I mean, not this, like, I think people need to see the Olympics just to like, because it's like it's an iconic moment.
Yeah.
And you have the guy running up the stairs with the torch about to light the whole like the bonfire thing. It's like, everyone thinks about that as growing up as a kid. At least I did.
You just gotta watch he doesn't catch his mask trying to lift the torch.
Oh Jesus! You think he has to wear it? That would be fucking hilarious if he's got to wear his mask running up the stairs with the torch.
I mean, they're gonna do it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they probably won't even do that. Like they'll find an alternative, maybe like one representative. Who knows?
Or do like a remote control. They just hit the button and the bonfire just
right.
Skip the whole running thing.
And just show the flags. I don't know. I haven't really looked into the Olympics. So it will be the winter ones. It's not the summer, but it's happening.
I believe it's the winter because I mean, I don't know, because Japan I don't know about their weather scheme.
Yeah, I have no clue. So
3 months from now, it's still summertime, right? Because that puts us in July July and July, kind of August area, which is prime summer times. I don't know how they're going to be able to do with the Winter Olympics. So maybe it's the summer. I don't know. I'm not 100% in on Olympics to know that fact.
Right? Maybe try to look it up here.
But the only other trending topic we saw was Caitlyn Jenner is running against Gavin Newsom.
I don't know anything. What's your take on that? California is a mess. I know that.
I don't think that I don't think she's got a
A lot
shot.
of people. If
Just just strictly on the fact of because she's more of a conservative transgender person, and in that community they don't like those kind of transgender people like that are lean right or have views on the right. So she's not going to get
yeah,
that side of the vote for the LGBTQ community. And I don't think, she has enough pull to beat Newsom because Newsom knows a lot of political figures. 'Cause I'm pretty sure he's related to Nancy Pelosi. So it's just
yeah.
I don't see him losing to Caitlyn Jenner at all.
Oh, Caleb, Republican.
Yeah, she has some like conservative viewpoints.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I just didn't know
I don't know if she's
she was
full
just.
Republican because she has to pick that side on the docket because she can't pick Democrat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's got to pick Republican.
yeah, because
So I
that's what
mean,
that would be. I mean, with the whole screwing up California, I mean that definitely gives Caitlyn Jenner a good chance. I mean, you figure. I mean, look, they had Arnold in there. We had Trump. I mean, these celebrities, man,
yeah.
people love them. Let's just stick him in office. And I don't know. I'd say Arnold wasn't. I don't know. I don't really know how he did. I guess I just know California has good weather. I
That's all
wouldn't
you
want
need to know about California.
to, right.
You see that?
And stay out of the.
Because you haven't been watching Joe Rogan's podcast, right?
No, I've just been too busy. I've been working on our own and working on a lot of
But
the
they
UFC
were
picks.
talking about it. He was with I think Colin Noir, the gun expert lawyer guy. You ever heard about him?
Uh-huh.
He's on the
No.
show, and they're talking about the homelessness like situation in California because I think they're talking about Venice
Yeah.
and how it's like completely it's either Venice or some area like that, to where it's pretty much like
Pretty
homeless
rough,
people
dude.
everywhere. And they're talking
Yeah.
about
It's probably been.
that they have millions and billions of dollars funded just to help homeless people, but yet all you see is it continually rise up. So they were saying like, where the hell is this money going? Because it's got to go somewhere. Like, who's
Yeah.
getting rich from this?
Right. Right in the politicians' pockets. That's how it is everywhere, man. I mean, the business owners and the politicians and big corporates. That's where all the money goes. It's like we've had this homeless problem here for a while. It's not like COVID started this. I mean, you go to California and you go downtown, it's pretty it's really disturbing. And I
Yeah.
feel like they're trying to clean it up. They're making, I know they're making these hotels into like places where homeless people can stay, like these the older hotels down there, like places where they can stay and get food and stuff like that. So, it's just a population problem, really. I mean, it's just a lot of people in,
Yeah.
one small space. It's the cost of living, and I I don't
COVID's
know what they
scary,
got
man.
going on over there.
Last night I was leaving dinner and I'm driving and there's a whole strip of buildings that have like it was all like last year it was all packed with like it has a smoke shop, it had a Dairy Queen, it had all these other like big name or not big name, but some of them were small business on a strip of buildings. I drive past it. There's only one building at the end left and one building on the other end left. One's a Panda, one's like a fizzy drink place. Everything in the middle, the smoke shop, everything shut down. All the
Just
signs are taken down.
yeah,
There's boxes I could see through the windows. I'm like, holy shit.
it it's killed businesses. I mean, I know people, small businesses are hurting for sure, and I feel like the big corporations didn't really get hit by this, and they got bailouts otherwise, and they still let people go. And small towns are just dying, dude. I mean, the
Yeah.
town where I'm from, I mean, the mall pretty much shut down. I mean, it's been shut down for like small towns were already dying. I mean, you have Amazon Prime that just you can't keep up with it, and it's unfortunate, but
In your hometown, would you
I
say
don't know.
your main source of income would be farming or something else?
No, it's I
Fracking?
don't know. You'd find maybe in extraction. Yeah, I guess it would be. A lot of people were in that. I don't know. People, it's a lot of manual labor, blue collar jobs, but without the college, I think it's just it would be in very big trouble. It's just a college town, so it kind of survives on that, the restaurants and stuff. But
Gotcha.
in Pennsylvania, luckily it's cheaper to live. That's the good thing. You can kind of survive there. Whereas, we're starting to get to where it's just expensive, man. It's expensive to live out here on the West Coast. Like it's different.
See a map of recently where people are moving to. It's like Nevada's got an uptake or it's Nevada, Arizona have an increase of people, and Texas and Florida have an increase of people going over there. Like in the hundreds of thousands, people just leaving different states to go to these other ones. I guarantee you more than likely all of ours is California. So everyone wants to leave that place.
Yeah, dude, you see California plates, even Utah plates. Like there's a lot of people just here and coming here. I mean, it's growing, so there's jobs. I mean, I know a lot of people that are working somewhere else and just got a job here, and so they're coming in here, and and it's a nice place to live. I feel like it's definitely, you go back even just 5 years ago when I moved here, like it's just not. You used to think Vegas was just somewhere you go to party on the strip. I mean, it's just a regular city. It's got the regular stuff. Now it's got a sports teams, and it's just expanding.
Everyone thinks we live in hotels because we live here.
Yeah. It's just, it's just normal, man. But you just have that stuff. And I think that's why people come here. There's just so much more to do. I come from a place where I'm surprised they even had an escape room. But like you have one escape room. There's like 17 escape rooms in here. Like there's probably an escape room in my apartment complex. Like someone has one, a homemade one. Like there's just so much to do here compared to.
Have you ever done one before?
Other places. Yeah, I've done a couple. They're pretty cool.
I like them.
They can be
mobster one time. I think that was the only one I've ever done is a mobster one. I was using hints 24/7.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You definitely ask me for the hints. I feel like I don't know. It definitely can be frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So that's all the trending topics we kind of got going on right now. So did you want to go over PFL or do you want to skip that one?
No, we can go back on it. I released my PFL card on at King of Don Picks, KINGADANPICKS on Twitter. We didn't do so well. I had a live chase. Anthony Pettis lost to Clay Colliard. Big underdogs, did nothing but cash. You had the same thing. Marcin Hell beat Nathan Schultz. Bubba Jenkins beat Lance Palmer. I think two of the former champs. So in the PFL, they play to win $1 million or fight to win $1 million. So starts, I mean, where are we at here? April, and then December 31st should be when they do it. This is when they've done it every other year, but they have the championship where, the guys fight basically for $1 million. And so two of not last year's, the year before, they were, off because of COVID. They weren't like the UFC and kept going. They, two of the champions lost. That was on their side, and the underdogs just shine. And, it would have been minus, I think, what was it? 1.98 units on our original place, including the Anthony Pettis Clay Colliard, which looked really risky if you watch the fight. The over 2.5. Both guys it was a good fight. It's a really good fight. I suggest go back and watch that one if you haven't. That's the one you want to see. The main event definitely showed Anthony Pettis looked good, but Clay Colliard looked better.
Was it a decision or did they end it before?
Went to a decision. So Clay Colliard hurt him. You would say he won the first and second round. He hurt him in the second round. I think Clay Colliard edged out the first round, hurt him in the second round, and then Anthony Pettis nailed it. Clay Colliard with a leg kick in the third, and you thought he was going to finish him, but he couldn't get him off. And Clay Colliard ended up getting a decision, and there's a lot of split decisions. I was hoping some would go my way, but I don't think I deserved any. I think the judges got every fight right as far as I watched. I like PFL's little stat thing. It kind of shows who won the round. I think it was pretty accurate. I don't know how they run it. I was kind of listening to other stuff and watching it, but looking at it, and it looked pretty accurate as far as from what I saw. The judges don't use that. I mean, they're just cage side judging, but they got some good judges. I don't know. I don't even know where those fights are, but wherever they are, I
So
think
because
it's
he won
limited
and went to
capacity.
decision, how many points did he get out of that?
So if you get 3 points, if you would have knocked him out, someone would have got knocked out in the third, they automatically get 4, and then 5, 6. So 5 in the second round, 6 in the first round finish, and then 0 if you lose. And I guess if you miss weight, which Clay Collar did, so he might have won the fight, but he missed weight, he's -1. Like he
Okay.
doesn't get anything. Like weight, you're screwed.
So it's kind of like in the
You're
PFL, if
literally
you miss
negative.
weight, it's a waste of a fight because no matter what, you're going to get negative point out of it.
Well, is it 3 fights to get in the playoffs? I can't remember. But I mean, starting off -1, I have to see how many fighters make the playoffs. But I know from past years, I mean, losing a fight is not good. I mean, if you get 0 points and another guy's getting 6, this guy's getting 6 is most likely in because he's basically got 2 wins as far as them going to the decision. So if you're at -1, I mean, it's tough because he doesn't get anything. Even though he won, he doesn't get the 3. If you knocked him out the first, he doesn't get the 6. If you miss weight, I'm pretty sure you're -1 no matter what. It's the other guy who has an opportunity to just get.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think is good. I mean, make weight. I mean, I've never caught weight. I've never wrestled, but every boxer, every fighter, or majority of them, a vast majority say it's something that can be done and should be done.
It's just, for me, it's like that's your job. So your main priority should be, or one of your main priorities should be, you got to make weight because that's how you get your paycheck. That's how you continue to make a name for yourself, because you're known for a guy that just doesn't make weight. The promoters aren't going to want to use you because they don't want to take that gamble where you don't make that weight cut. So I think it's very important in a fighter's career to make weight.
Yeah, I think in the UFC they've gotten more strict. California's done a good job at weighing guys in throughout the month of the fight and checking their weight. I know it's bigger in boxing as far as making sure the guys are on task and kind of fight, that are on weight, not cutting too much weight. It's actually good for some athletes, that cut a lot of weight because they just carry that power. But at the same time, it kind of hurts the sport. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever add more weight divisions, because I know then you have guys that struggle like that. They're just not a good weight division. Whereas boxing, I mean, it's every 3 pounds or something like that. Like it's just there's so many weight divisions. I mean, you get a lot of titles, but I mean, if you make the fights, who cares? I mean, titles are just. I mean, Jesus, they had Jorge Masvidal was walking around with the BMF title. Like, dog, you didn't even win your last fight. How you were the baddest motherfucker if you didn't even win your last fight? Like, he just all of a sudden he has his title again. Like, put that thing away. Take it home.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a title you just keep at home and put over your fireplace, or you put it up on the wall and you leave it there. You don't bring it around with you.
Especially when you're fighting for the actual title from the guy that just beat you. So
exactly.
I'm very confident in Usman today, and obviously we went over it last week. I don't want to go too much more into it, but Usman is definitely our pick this week at 80 units. I think that could be a nice 20-unit gain. Yeah, we can transition over to UFC when we're already doing it.
This is 261.
This is UFC 261. Usman versus Masvidal, obviously. So yeah, full picks are on again. King of Dom picks on Twitter. Did the whole card. Pretty confident in this card. I mean, you have I mean, obviously the 3 title fights. You have Shevchenko versus Andrade. And I actually like the dog here. We're gonna go with Andrade.
Really?
Overall, I just think, she's moving up. I know this is Shevchenko's division at -120, -125 at 125 weight class. But I don't know. Shevchenko I think no one's talking about this. Her last fight with Jennifer Maia, she just she looked a little stale. She came on late, but she just came out. She just didn't look right. I feel like she's not throwing as many kicks. She had leg surgery in the summer of last year. I don't know exactly what it was, but I just know she's coming off that surgery, had the fight with Maya, didn't throw a lot of leg kicks, got taken down a bunch of times. And I think Jessica Andrade, I mean, you're talking about someone who just dumped Rose on her head not that long ago. Will that transition up to 125? Can she do it to Shevchenko? I don't think she's going to do that to her. I mean, we're talking about, one of the best women's fighter of all time. But I think every dog has their day, and it's Andrade's day. She's got good hand speed. She doesn't have a weight cut. The only thing I'm worried about, my pick might look dumb. Jessica Andrade does this little head bob and weave thing.
Yeah.
If Shevchenko does use her leg kicks, which she uses very, very well. Is it Caitlin Kagan that she knocked out with that crazy leg kick, I think? Don't be surprised if that happens. But Andrade has been here. She's fought for the title. She actually fought the co-main events, Zhang Wei Li and Rose. But, Zhang Wei Li got her out of there pretty quick. But that she can crack, man.
Yeah, Zhang
and that's
Li
why I'm
is
going
very
with Zhang.
dangerous.
Very dangerous. Yeah, we're gonna go with red here as did you watch the video where Rose even says that?
No, did she actually say it? Like, was she joking or was she being like very serious?
So she's being very serious, but she broke it down. I thought she had said it like she's just talking shit, but she said it describing like her grandfather and what they went through. And so for me, it's like, it's not as bad, I think, as it got made. It's very awkward for Rose. If you've seen all the memes of her sitting at that conference in her overall, it's kind of, I love Twitter. It's just so stupid.
That or her at the nail salon.
But you can tell, like, she's just using it as motivation, and I think it's not that big of a deal, but it puts her in a weird position. And realize we got the same haircut. Kind of weird, me and Rose. But
is that why you got the pick?
I just think, right, I'm gonna have to switch here. But no, definitely got Zhang Wei Li. I mean, dude, she just cracks, man. She hits freaking hard. Her hand speed's fast. She gets hit, which is kind of worrisome. Rose knocked out Joanna. Her only knockout, it's at freaking 115. So you're not going to get a lot of knockouts. She can crack. But I think the only way Rose wins this is she gets Zhang Wei Li down, and no one's been able to do that. I know Danielle Taylor tried. What's that chick's name?
Do you think Rose
but either way,
she's so big because she caught off Namajunas or not what's her name? Joanna? You think she caught her off guard? Is that why?
Well, she tagged her. She beat her in the rematch, so it wasn't like a fluke. But it's just tough when you're at the top. For fighters, that's just how it goes. It just takes one loss, and all of a sudden, you're Conor McGregor, and you've lost. I think it's 3 of his last 4. You could just be up there, and it just goes downhill. You look at Tony Ferguson. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him. He lost to Justin Gaethje, then he lost again. Like, it's just, guys, they trend in certain directions. It's like that with any sport, but I don't, you want to bounce back against Zhang Wei Li. That was a split decision, and it was a very close fight. So, that's the thing with this. You look at my PFL picks, look how many dogs cashed. You never know. You never really know in fighting. You try to pick, the best way you can, styles, age, points in career, and you try to use those to make an educated guess is what you're doing. It's just a guess because these people were going in a cage and cracking each other.
Yeah.
So, but I think Zhang Wei Li gets it done. Like I said, I just think it's her time, man. I think she's dangerous. She can crack. And
take punishment.
I just don't know. She can definitely take punishment. I don't think Joanna ever had her hurt. She was in a war though, which worries me. I mean, people that go in the wars come off, but she hasn't fought since, last year, March 7th of last year, over a year ago. So I think you have time to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, back and really recover from all that.
So we got Zwayli, you got the Brazilian, and then of course we got Usman over Masvidal.
Usman on the big play.
Which
Now,
what?
we got it. We could do some statistic picks. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So, let me see. I mean, the other fights you got on this card, you got Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman.
That's on the main, right?
I mean, dude, they're pretty close statistics, honestly.
So last time Weidman won a fight against Silva.
Yeah, Uriah Hall really hasn't, beat anybody worth mentioning. Let me go back here. Because he had Anderson
everyone knows
Silva
him just by that spinning back kick knockout.
Well, and he was, coming in, he was, then he was one of the top prospects, and then he just, never really, he lost Kevin Gastelum. I don't even honestly know who John Howard is. I didn't even watch it back then. But he was, he's always been known as this prospect. And as far as I've been watching, man, I mean, he gets knocked out a lot, but he's getting knocked out by decent guys. Like, he just seems to, every time he gets a step up, he loses. And so I think Chris Weidman has that going for him, is what people think. But I think Uriah Hall, watching Chris Weidman's last couple of fights, the dude's freaking chin, man, is half past gone. Like, I swear, every time he gets hit, he's just like wobbling around like the mother.
Yeah, like, hit that with the "I love my boy, that's my boy." I'm pretty sure his father's not allowed in the ring anymore. I said I'm pretty sure his father's not allowed in the octagon anymore.
I wonder if he's still he's still with Ray Longo. That'll be fun. They're gonna have him in the corner. Ray Longo, he's on the Anik and Florian podcast, which is a good podcast I like to listen to. But he's the guy that coaches Sterling, Aljamain Sterling as well. But yeah, I just think Chris Weidman, he was doing good against Souza, got cracked. Dominic Reyes got him out of there. Great guard. Both guys have been knocked out how many freaking times? Chris Weidman 5, Uriah Hall 4. Yeah. But I think Uriah Hall's just got more power. They're both 36. They fought. When did they fight?
I think he's got more weapons, to be honest.
Uriah Hall?
Uriah Hall has more weapons in his arsenal. Like, stylistically.
I think he's definitely got the kicks. Definitely a kickboxer type. The only thing I worry about Uriah Hall is his wrestling. You watch he gets up. He always gets up, but he always gets taken down. So Chris Weidman's, a top wrestler. That's what he does. I think he's going to come in too soon and get cracked. This is how I see it. I think it'll be, you're more likely to get Uriah Hall by knockout here. It wouldn't be a bad prop. I might put that later. I might post that later.
Or Weidman shoots for the takedown and Uriah Hall just hits him with the knee.
Well, that could happen. He's not really too known for his knees. It's more of his leg kicks, which I think he could wear Weidman down and get to him. And the thing with Weidman, he just gasses too. He's been gassing like halfway through the second round in his last couple of fights. So I think Uriah Hall, if he keeps this standing, it could be one of those. It could be one of those fights that they haven't fought since 2010. It was a quick knockout by Weidman. If you watch the cage side footage, it's pretty grainy. That's way back then. You can't look at that. It kind of goes into I was going to go into MMA Math and how it doesn't work. we'll touch on that in a little bit, but it's almost like the Poirier McGregor thing. You're talking about two different fighters, and this is way further spread apart than when those two, the distance between their second fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're just completely different guys, different parts of their career. I mean, when you get knocked out 9 combined times, I mean, these guys' chins are different. Their cardio is going to be different. Father Time, undefeated, never lost.
Do either of them have kids?
But I think, huh?
Does either of them have kids?
What happened? The kids? I don't know. I do not know.
Because one's a family man over the other one. I don't know.
I think that can make a difference. I use that in my the name is escaping me. What the hell is Amanda Nunes' wife's name?
Oh, I don't remember. I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember her name. She
had a baby, and I'm like, I feel like it's a little too soon to be. I feel like that changes you. I feel like, literally your body changes. Like a couple months train after having a child, I think that wears on you. That's a lot to have to deal with. So, but for men, I think it's a little different,
I'm just saying, like, the aspect, like, in the back of your mind, you're like, if I enter this war, how am I going to come out of this to help my, like, kids? Like, is this going to mess me up for the rest of my life to where, I can't play with my kids, I can't talk with my kids because I got so much brain damage going on. Rather, if you're just a single guy who's just trying to make it to the top, you don't give a hoot what happens to you. You can have brain damage as long as you get that belt. You're taking it.
I think that definitely plays a factor. Look at guys definitely get in there for just look at Ben Askren. You just get in there for a paycheck. So getting knocked out isn't too bad. Taking a beating's bad. You get more knockouts than beatings in the UFC, which is good. And even if you go over to boxing, they're stopping fights sooner, which they should. That's where you get the real damage. But I think these guys 36. I think it does play a factor. I think Weidman's kind of had his shot. Uriah Hall I don't want to say he's been unfortunate. He hasn't stepped up in big spots, but Paulo Costa, Gregor Mousasi, Derek Brunson. Derek Whittaker. You're talking about top 5 guys. Now that's the same thing about Chris Weidman, except he's beaten those guys, you could say. But he beat Kevin Gastelum. Mario Akamanov. I think that fight just is the key of why we're taking Hall here. I think Hall at that fight, Amari Akhmedov is. He's a wrestler. He's not exciting, and Chris Weidman just didn't look all that great against him. He just looks, I don't want to say washed, but but
he's been.
I think the power of Uriah. Who's that? Weidman or both of them? They both been in the fight game a while. They both been freaking knocked. That Yoel Romero knee to Chris Weidman's head.
I thought that was it for him. That looked brutal as hell.
The soldier of God. He fights freaking next week. Is it next week? Yeah, I think it's next week.
Under Bellator, right? Because UFC dropped him.
Yeah, Bellator. I gotta get those picks in. Yeah, we'll do a look ahead here in a little bit. Little teaser for the people.
Yeah.
The other main card, what do we got? You got Crute versus Anthony Smith.
He's coming back from Crute with the old dentures, right?
For who?
For Anthony Smith.
Oh no!
He lost all his teeth the last fight.
I think he'll. I don't know if he'll be spitting out his teeth in this one, but I definitely think Crute gets it done. I'm pretty high on Crute. I got him in a parlay, and I also have him straight up. So I'm pretty confident in Crute here. I think we know Anthony Smith's issue is wrestling. The Rakic fight showed us that. Where's the motivation for him at this point is another thing. I think that comes into it. It's just like the dude's been around forever. Like
So you're
God, you
thinking
want to
he's
talk
more on the
about a guy
back end of
that's
his
just been
career.
definitely where Crute is in the perfect. This is the get a name on Crute's get a Crute on Crute's resume. I think here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Crute. He went to the ground with Paul Craig and he won. He knocked out Sam Alvey. I mean, you could say those aren't, he submitted Michael Oleksiak. He got submitted by Serkinov, but I think he got too confident with Serkinov. Serkinov's a dangerous guy. He's definitely a hard motherfucker to bet on.
Mm-hmm.
He's very inconsistent, but that's Jimmy Crute's only loss. I just think, I mean, if you're going to see him this Saturday, he's going to walk in the cage, and I think he's going to come in there the more hungrier man. I think that's what his hunger comes into. I think Anthony Smith's he's just been through a lot, man. I mean, he had his teeth knocked out. He got burglarized. Flip that.
Burglarized, yeah.
Sometimes kind of an
John
idiot.
Jones is clowning on him.
Was he? I missed that. What did he
But
say
John
about
Jones
him?
was like shit talking him, saying if like someone came into my house and he has like a picture of him with like his gun, he's like, I would have taken care of business. And then also, because I guess it did happen because John Jones released some like security footage from his home to where someone was trying to get in his house. And you just see John Jones booking it across his way with like I think a shotgun hole in it, just aiming at the guy. So John Jones is about
Yeah,
that
I know
life.
he's a big gun guy. He's a big gun guy. He's like real big, and you'll see a lot of he's like in military gear. I don't know if he's got to be trained with actual military guys, I think, because who wouldn't want to mess around, work with John Jones? But
Get some
I
cocaine
know
and
he's
trading on the
definitely a
side.
gun guy, right?
Thanks.
Cocaine and guns, dog. The American dream, right there.
Cocaine, hell of a drug.
That's right. How rest in peace, a legend. How are we gonna bet against Jimmy Crute with that umbrella tattoo? Have you seen Jimmy Crute's tattoo?
No, he's got
He's
an
got
umbrella
the
tattoo.
the Raven with the umbrella from Resident Evil.
Oh, jeez.
Pretty badass, dude. Well, you figured, dude. Clay Collard, I should have known he had that Mortal Kombat tattoo, and he ended up winning, dude. Cash. What was he? Plus fucking 400 dog, too, dude. I was a little worried. I thought Anthony Smith would pull out a decision, but with the new game coming out, how are you not going to go Jimmy Crute's way? Jimmy the Brute Crute. I think he picks up the W in that one. Right?
Is he
Australian,
American?
coming down from down under. Australian. Yeah. I like Anthony Smith, but a submission over Devin Clark isn't going to do it for me. We know his weaknesses. Jimmy Crute, I don't really see the submission game. Anthony Smith isn't going to. I mean, ironically, he submitted Devin Clark, but Devin Clark got ahead of himself. Remember, Devin Clark took him down or had him down, and he caught Devin Clark in a submission. I don't think that happens here. I think Jimmy Crute gets it done.
I think the crowd throws everyone off now that they're back. Like they're gonna let the adrenaline get to them too much.
Maybe for Jorge Masvidal. Maybe. I mean, you watched the. Actually, I haven't watched the weigh-in. What did I see? Was it the weigh-ins or the press conference a couple of days ago? It's definitely gonna be. It's in Florida, so it's gonna be a heavy Masvidal crowd. I still think Usman doesn't get the respect he deserves. But as long as he doesn't get ahead of himself, if he's got to grind, I think he has too many tools. You know what you're getting with Jorge. As far as with the crowd, I don't know. I feel like, you play sports. I feel like you tune. I mean, these guys are at the highest level. You're tuning that stuff. If you and I are tuning that stuff out when we play on a small ass field with just our families, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the easier it is to tune it out. Now, it can get a little wild if you're like in the UK or maybe a McGregor fight gets crazy. That may get to you. But I just think when you get to the highest level like these guys are, and it's only 15,000. It's not like it's a big arena.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be loud as hell. I think people are going to be happy
my
to be
thought
out
process
there,
on it is more of like it's been so long since they had the crowd, so it's kind of like equate it to like when you don't drink for a very long time and then you just have your first one and all of a sudden it hits you like it hits you like so hard when you used to like drink all the time and
Yeah,
like one beer wouldn't do nothing to you, but you take like a layoff time on it and you have that
yeah.
one beer, it affects you because you're like, crap, my body's not used to this. So like I get what
I
you're
think
saying when they're saying that, these guys are high level performers or they're used to the crowd and everything. But it's been so long. I don't know if it would be like they get too amped up and maybe have an adrenaline dump off in the middle of the fight, or they're able to control it.
it could happen. I mean, I definitely think it'll probably happen more with guys on the undercard that haven't been there. There's a lot of guys. You go to the early prelims. A lot of people making their UFC debut, or just maybe fought once in 2020. I think maybe for them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but a lot of these guys have done it before. The adrenaline dump can happen, but I think that'll happen more maybe first time octagon jitters for some of, like I said, the early prelim guys, or it could really happen to anybody. I mean, it just happens. I mean, it's the
Mm-hmm.
fight game, but I don't think it's gonna play a real factor. I think it gets overhyped. I think it's just like home court advantage. Like if you look at the
Yeah.
free throws, like college basketball, like I think it's like a point, something 0% difference. Like these guys, they just do it. I mean, you just do it. It's not. I feel like a lot of athletes just stay focused, and that's part of why they're there wherever they are. You know what I mean? If you're just
Yeah.
on the field, you're just focused.
100%.
Some people feed off the crowd, of course. I think the crowd can affect judging for whatever fucking reason, but you see that more in boxing. It baffles the hell out of me, but because it's like you got one damn job, and it's
Yeah.
not to listen to the damn crowd. But other than that, I just think it's just business as usual.
I agree. Wish it was Vegas though, so we
Got
could
some good
go.
fights. Yeah, right. I know they're coming back for the McGregor fight, but tickets for that are going to be out the roof.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they'll be their normal priority. I mean, 500 for nosebleeds. But we'll see. I think that's the only fight they've announced. They've been pretty reserved on announcing a lot of fights with COVID. We'll see if they get back to announcing like a bunch and having them all set. I mean, it's fight season. They will, but
Yeah.
get more of those fights down here.
You want to talk about
But
the
if we move to the
prelims?
yeah, go to the prelims. Alex Oliveira. These prelims are freaking great. You got Alex Oliveira versus Randy Brown. That should be a fun one. We're going with Randy Brown on that one. I think Randy Brown, as long as he watches the kicks from Alex Oliveira is another guy, I think, like Anthony Smith, who just, if you just, sometimes you got to judge on their last fight. That's all we really got to work with. We don't know what the mindset of these guys are now, but I just don't think, I think Randy Brown has fought some stiff competition. And Alex Oliveira is kind of on the decrease. Older guy, been there for a while. Fun guy. I love to bet on him, but
Mm-hmm.
not here. I'm gonna go with Randy Brown to get it done. And
Now, is that Oliveira
probably go to a
related to the
decision.
other Oliveira or no relation?
No, this is Alex Cowboy Oliveira.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
But
Okay.
he's but no, he's not related to him at all. There's a lot of Oliveira's in Brazil. Brazilians have like 87 names. I don't know how it works. I actually think it's 4. And then they use their third to last name as their first name. I don't know. And then they have their American names. So,
Okay.
but no, they are not related. He is not related to, the hell's the other Oliveira's name? Left my mind. Charles Oliveira.
Yep.
But Alex Oliveira, this could be fun. I mean, he's always fun to watch. Alex Oliveira always puts on a show no matter what. It's hard to get him out there besides submitting. Like somehow he always gets dragged to the ground and submitted. But I think Randy Brown just kind of tees him up on the feet. Nice decision win here. Is most likely outcome. And we'll be playing him. I actually really like him at 3 units. So We'll see. As long as he stops the leg kick, gasses out, I think Alex Oliveira is going to gas out, and Randy Brown's going to take. He could win all 3 rounds, but at least take the last 2.
Gotcha.
And the next one, what else do we got? I love this computer. What's the next fight? My computer's quick as usual.
Let me pull it up. The prelims,
Thanks,
right?
Jamie. Thanks. Yeah. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
I am the Jamie.
Dude. Oh, Dwight Grant. Yeah, right. Dwight Grant versus Stefan Salecki. Saluki. I should know this. He's got similar last names.
Sekulik.
Yeah. But I really like Dwight Grant by KO here. I think Sekulik, dude, he's slow. He looks slow.
Mm-hmm.
The only way he wins this is he gets Dwight Grant to the ground, which I think with his wide stance and the way he fights is he throws haymakers, which could get him in trouble for getting taken down. But I don't know, dude. There's just something about Stefan that he's just slow, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He gets rocked. He's gotten KO'd, and Dwight Grant's not a guy you want to step in there and get KO'd by, or have to take his punches. I mean, this guy throws haymakers too, so I expect him to get the KO. We're on that prop specifically.
Okay.
There, did I put it? Yeah, that's a 3-unit play.
So just any knockout or a certain round knockout?
I would just go by KO, TKO, or DQ is what I have. If you want to go by round, most likely in the first.
Gotcha.
I think he just comes out. I mean, you'll see. Dwight Grant comes out swinging. As long as he doesn't get taken down, hopefully he doesn't overcommit. He establishes a jab, kind of tease him up a little bit first.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stefan's slow enough to get him out of there.
Gotcha.
Another one I like is Sabatini against Tristan Conley. Tristan Conley, if you watched his last fight versus Michael Pereira, have you seen Michael Pereira fight? The guy that does like dance moves and backflips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the one who gassed out, and Tristan Conley kind of just dragged it out and won the fight. I really like Sabatini here, his opponent. He's got good subs. He's super aggressive. You'll see he's going to come out blazing. I hope he doesn't get caught. As long as he doesn't get caught, I think he's got the stronger hands. Usually when you get like a wrestler or jiu-jitsu guy or like ground guys, for some reason they just end up standing. I think they respect their games too much. And I think that could happen here. And Sabatini just tease him up for 2-3 rounds. And then I think so I have him. It's at -215 is what I got it at. Probably went down a little bit if I check. I didn't really look at them. Yeah, it's a -240. So, but if you're getting them late, I have in a parlay with Jimmy Crute, who I also have 2 units on straight up, and then the 2 units on there. So 4 units total on them, and then parlay, of course, because I really like those plays. I guess I forgot to mention that. Wei Lee will be parlaying with another fight I really like, which we got 4 total units. Wei Lee would have 2 total units, and the first fight, Carnelossi. If you look at, you'll see the first fight of the night. How tall is Nei Liang? Ariane Colosi's fighting Nei Liang. You'll see there's a huge height difference, but the way Carnelossi just comes forward, I think she got submitted once way back in the day. Her first fight against Amanda Rivas, dude. I mean, that happens, but she's a brute, dude. She goes forward, marches forward. She fought Angela Hill the last fight. I think it was a close competitive fight. If you just look at it as far as what it says, TKO, doctor stoppage, you're like, oh no, Angela Hill beat the hell out of her. Not the case. She ended up just getting really badly cut, right? Or did her eye close? I can't remember. But it was a close fight going into third. I mean, it could have swung either way, but I believe it was a cut. And they had the doctor come in and just stop it. It's not like she was hurt or rocked or, whatever. I think she was having blood in her eyes or something like that. But it was a competitive fight. Angela Hill is no joke. So And from what I watched, the film I could find on Nei Liang, you'll see she just tries to go for the submission. She's too committed to the submission and getting it to the ground. And Aaron Colosi, she's just gonna be too tough as long as she doesn't get caught in a submission. And I don't think she does. I think she gets it done. And as I said, I have her parlayed with Sabatini. 2 units on her at -200, and then another 2 parlay.
Gotcha.
And the rest of the picks, like I said, Kingdom picks on Twitter for the full card.
So that wraps.
It should be a good one though. I like.
So that wraps up 261. You want to do fight previews for next week?
We could do that. I wanted to do. I did have a MMA Math breakdown.
Okay.
So there's this thing called what they call MMA Math, where it doesn't work. People like to use it. People like to say, well, this guy beat this guy, so he's going to beat this guy, right? You think that, no?
Yeah.
So I have it broken down here. Hopefully I don't mess this up. So you got, you look at the women. You have, Shevchenko, Rose, Zhang Weili, and Jessica Andrade. Now, Jessica Andrade got knocked out by Zhang Weili. Rose split 2 fights with Andrade. And if you go, Shevchenko lost to Nunes, who lost to Alexis Davis, who lost to Caitlin Chikagian. Now, if you look at that, that goes all the way down to Caitlin Chikagian lost to Andrade and Shevchenko. Like, it just doesn't work. You can't go back and look at, a lot of these women just fight each other. I mean, there's not a lot of women in MMA. So just based on that, if you look at the names I mentioned and go back to their records, you have Caitlin Chikagian, again, who beat Alexis Davis, who beat Amanda Nunes back in the day. Amanda Nunes beat Shevchenko. Like, you can't just do the math like that. And because people get caught in submissions. There are different places in their career. And, just don't, it's just a little word of advice. Don't use MMA Math as a staple. You can't even really go back to their last fight. You go to Usman and Masvidal, and it's only lost once, and he ended up losing to. I gotta look this up. It's this guy. I don't.
This MMA Math kind of sounds like how people who are into superheroes and stuff talk about who would beat who, because this guy beat this guy, so that means this guy's better than that guy, or that guy can beat that guy, kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's just not something you should use when you're picking these fights. It's not something I use. I think it's almost completely irrelevant, even if they just fought recently. There is I shouldn't say irrelevant if they fought recently. Irrelevant if they fought, in the past, like Poirier and McGregor. Well, McGregor knocked him out the first time. Like, it can go the other way. You have guys that age, damage, if they've gone through wars. You got fighters that one thing I like is when fighters switch camps, they tend to win. They just change the scenery seems to do it for them. It's like revamping. We're different points in people's careers. I think 90% of it, a lot of people say 90% of it is mental, and we can't really get in these fighters' heads. So you just got to look at what you can see and things like that, just where a guy is in his career. I mean, the perfect example was the Jake Paul Ben Askren thing. It was just so obvious that Ben Askren was just there for a payday. McGregor versus Poirier. I missed this. I had 8 units on McGregor. I really thought he was going to get it done. But, looking back on it, he was winning the first round. But at the same time, it's like, where is this guy mentally? That he's got his own whiskey, business ventures, boxing. When you have someone that's hungry and wants it, it's just different stages of careers is definitely a big point. And styles, for sure. Styles make fights. Some guys are just susceptible to, like Usman lost his second fight to Jose Caceres, who got knocked out by Nico Price. Like, is Nico Price better than Usman? Like,
According to MMA Math, he's far superior to Usman.
yeah, or not, or is Jose Caceres like he's better than Mazadov? No, like it's just MMA Math does not work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something you shouldn't use. I figured I'd just little tip / lesson, something to learn that moving forward. You know, but yeah. So that's that. We got boxing before we.
Boxing.
I just posted 2 plays tonight on ESPN, 7 p.m. You got Berlanga versus Collard, or Damon Nicholson, or Desmond Nicholson, not Damon. This is Desmond Nicholson. Berlanga is the guy. I don't know if you've been following him at all, but he's the first round guy. So we're putting 3 units that he gets it done again in the first round here. I think watching is it Desmond? Do I have the right name?
Just talking about different guy.
I'm just gonna say Nicholson. Nicholson, I mean, this guy, he's been knocked out twice. He's been rocked. I didn't prepare for boxing. I wrote it down, didn't prepare for it. But I mean, he's just susceptible to getting finished. And I think it happens again here. I think he gets him out in the first round. You know, there's enough film out there for Berlanga to see where he can hurt Nicholson, and I think it's the safe play at -177 right now. That he gets him out in the first round. And then the main event on that card is Navarrete versus Diaz. I think it's a great fight. I would definitely tune in. Navarrete, you know, we're hoping Diaz survives here. I think he has a lot of heart. He comes on strong. You know, he got knocked down by Maziaki Ito.
Okay.
And he came back. I mean, it wasn't Tyson Fury-esque comeback of the round, but he just came back. And I just don't think this is a guy that can be easily get taken out of the ring. I know Navarrete can crack his left or his right hooks to the body, but as long as Diaz fights a smart fight and doesn't get into doesn't get complacent, like as long as he's not, if he's pushing forward like he always does, get Navarrete to back up, I don't think, you know, his long, because Navarrete's very lanky. You know, he must I don't want to say Ryan Garcia-esque, but I mean, he likes to go to the body. And I think if you just kind of push him back, I think Diaz can survive. And Navarrete gets it done by decision and got that +125, 2 units is the play on that one. I like that play as well. Navarrete by points. So just in case wacky happens, like it did last week, we got the points and not just, you know, I guess decision's the same thing, but some books have a 12-round decision. You got to be careful with some of these, especially in boxing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good to sacrifice value.
Yeah.
To get on the right side of a play here. But other than that, yeah, we can look ahead to what is going on next week. I know you have Bellator. And is there UFC next week? The Canelo fight's next week, no?
Canelo, I thought it was in May. It's the week
May 8th?
after, isn't it?
2 weeks?
Because next week it's still April until Saturday. Saturday's May 1st.
This computer's so slow. This is unbelievable. I mean, I know we'll just go into Romero because I really like Romero. That's going to end up being a 20-unit play. I think Anthony Johnson, I think he I don't think he's ventured out of the MMA. I think he's doing this for a check.
Mhm.
I really like Yoel Romero here, moving up to light heavyweight. I think he gets it done versus Johnson. You know, he's a power guy.
Mhm.
And, you know, Romero could get caught, but I just don't see it. I think this move up in weight for Romero, he's always struggled at middleweight. I don't think the power leaves. I think that guy just cracks, dude. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. And if you go back, I mean, you know, it hasn't been too long for Anthony Johnson. He fought in 2017. He got easily choked out by Daniel Cormier. I was actually on Anthony Johnson to get the KO, but I think Yoel Romero, he'll come prepared. It could be absolutely disappointing. Yoel Romero has done it before. I feel like you get your money's worth when he fought Whitaker. If you bet on him, I bet on Romero a lot.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot. You know, you could get the Adesanya type fight, but
Yeah.
that's not this kind of fight. You know, either guy could go out, but Yoel Romero, he should be able to get it done versus Anthony Johnson, and he could even get it done pretty quickly. I know he gets
Guess
the
we'll
late
find out.
knockout. Oh yeah, but you know, 3-fight winning streak. Romero's he's gotta get a win here. You know,
Yeah.
he looked all right against Paulo Costa. I think it'll be sort of similar to that fight, kind of a phone booth fight. You know, Anthony Johnson just hasn't been there. You know, I think he needs. You don't see him a lot in MMA, but tune-up fights. I think coming back against a killer like Yoel Romero is. They didn't. You know, I don't think the matchmakers did him a favor in this one.
Yeah.
I think he would have been better against Ryan Bader or someone like that. But Yoel Romero at what, 44? 43? I think he gets it done still.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, or be good?
I touched on everything I have. How about you? Anything?
Watch out for the Yankees sweep today. We're gonna try to sweep the Indians, get those clowns out of fucking Cleveland. And Buccos are going for the sweep too, I think.
He had to have lost last night, dude. They were losing.
You said you won, or you didn't say that. So maybe they're not going for the sweep.
They're probably losing. Who cares? I'm not worried about it.
But
All
yeah, it's the
matters.
second show in the book. We appreciate all the support we got from the first video. We got about 6 subscribers, so you know we're very appreciative of that. You know, if you did tune in to see the first one, we do appreciate you. I saw one of your guys on Facebook. He was saying he was watching. I forget his name. It was on Facebook. Like he commented, like wondering or wanted to know our outlook on fights because he watches the fights as well.
Tyler Norris, childhood
Yeah.
friend. Yep.
Shout out
Shout out.
Tyler. Thanks, Tyler, for
Chip the
tuning in. Yes.
I didn't forget. Watch me
We
catch.
appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, if you have any comments for us, let us know down below. We're always open for feedback. Let us know who you think's winning 2FC 61 main card. And yeah, we'll see you next week on the What's Happening podcast.
See you
Take
next
care.
week.